It's the middle of a very busy sport period, with the Rugby World Cup well and truly underway and the Cricket World Cup starting next week. However, today we're here to discuss a competition I'm really excited for as a golf fan that has just kicked off, or should I say teed off, the Ryder Cup. Today I'm joined by Sunil to discuss the tournament. Sunil, could you give a quick overview on what the Ryder Cup is?
Well, it's a golf competition, but it's for teams, and it's between the Europe and US teams. It's hosted every 2 years, and the venue switches between the US and Europe this year. It's in Rome, which is a pretty nice place to go to watch sport. First competition took place nearly 100 years ago, back in 1927. That was the first year when it had a trophy, which was donated by a British businessman called Sam Ryder. He made his fortune from taking seeds for your garden and putting them into little packets. At that time, it was a competition between the US and the UK and Ireland. But over the years, it proved that the US was quite good at this competition. So the UK and Ireland were allowed to draw on the rest of Europe to create the Europe team.
I mean, I'm very thankful for the decision to extend the UK and Ireland team out to all of Europe to give us a chance. What's quite peculiar about the competition is the fact golf is mostly associated with being a single player sport, but this is a team tournament with no prize money awarded. Yet you won't believe how excited the fans get over this competition. I mean, you only need to watch past highlights to see that. But just switching gears here for a moment to talk about investment and finance, I'm interested to know how the Ryder Cup generates income and also if there's any lasting effects on the economy from hosting a competition with such energy and passion for it.
Well, you're right. They have got pretty good at turning the positive energy into revenue. For example, the last European city to host the Ryder Cup was Paris back in 2018, and that provided an uplift to the city's economy of about 230 million euros. Now, more generally, the way that the Ryder Cup is generating income is very similar to other live events. And we're now in a world where, for example, a music band can generate more income from their tour than they can from their albums. And in the case of the Ryder Cup, there's three key points really. Firstly, it's the on the day income. So that will be your ticketing and your media rights to the sport itself. Then you've got social media and advertising. And then finally, you've got corporate sponsorship. So on the ticket side, revenue is up about 20% this year compared to the Paris edition. And the tickets have been 7 times oversubscribed. Now, interestingly, the extra revenue isn't coming from higher general admission prices. It's coming from the add-ons. So, for example, kind of premium experiences like dinner and drinks packages. The social media side is still not as big in terms of how much it generates, but you are seeing tie-ups with established entertainment agencies. So, for example, Rock Nation, which is Jay-Z's agency, has been a supporter here. And it is noticeable that in terms of ticket holders, nearly half of those are actually under 40s. So perhaps that it's having an impact in that regard. And then lastly, you've got the corporate sponsors. So you've got 7 top-tier partners, including BMW and Rolex. And then you've got dozens of official suppliers. Pepsi and UPS would be examples of that. And if you compare the financial impact, then going back to that Paris competition to now, sponsorship revenue is going to be up about 150% compared to 5 years ago. So a really big impact.
Yeah, I mean, listen to this. The lesson I really take is just how innovative you can be to diverse revenue streams. But then there's also indirect methods such as social media to drive the traditional income methods. Now, Sunil, I don't think we can end this video without me asking this last question. Who wins the Ryder Cup this year? Europe or the USA?
Well, I'm going to commit a crime that we're often advising investors against, which is to be driven too much by past performance. But I do think that the US were very dominant last time. Team looks pretty strong this year, so I think they may go in with a little bit of an advantage. What do you think?
Well, I'm sorry, Sunil. I'm going to have to disagree with you there because I think the combination of the home advantage, such brilliant informed players such as Hovland, Macro, and Rahm, and well, we couldn't do a golf video without mentioning Live Golf, and I think Live Golf, American players in particular, are really going to hamper America's chances of winning the tournament. So I am going to have to stick with predicting Europe to win the competition. But I guess we will see. So thank you, Sunil, and we'll be back next week with a topic that's caught our interest.